Lovely to meet everyone. I'm Finn, and I work at LinkedIn. I am a customer success manager here. Probably a job title or a title that you haven't heard before. It's quite unique to this business, but really I am an account manager. So I look after all of our paying clients, and I've been with LinkedIn now for about 8 months. Really happy to have you all on here today. I just wanted to really mention at the beginning that this is the first time that I've ever done a talk speaking with an audience that I fully appreciate that English is not your first language. So with that in mind, I will try and talk as slowly as possible and as clearly as possible to avoid confusing anyone. But please hold me accountable. If I'm speaking too fast, please put your hand up or turn your camera on or put a question in the chat or unmute yourself and just say, please, can you slow down? If I use any words that anyone doesn't understand as well, please just let me know, and I'm more than happy to clarify. As Kateba mentioned, I will be pausing at the end for questions, but if there's anything really burning, feel free to jump in, ideally in the chat, so then we can see if it is something that we can cover now, or if I can say we'll actually talk about that at the end of the talk. So let me just share my screen with everyone here. You should all now be able to see that. You should just see just LinkedIn. Can you see that? Okay, brilliant.
Yep.
So let's look at a sort of a running order or an agenda. What I'm going to talk about today. So I want to talk with all of you about what LinkedIn is, why LinkedIn can be so powerful when it comes to finding a job. I want to talk to you about how you set up a profile, an account. And then I also want to talk to you about the things that you can do outside of the normal just applying for jobs to get noticed on the platform. Hopefully everyone takes something from this session, a better understanding of what LinkedIn is and how it can help you find a new job. Now, I noticed that everyone's cameras are off at the moment. If possible, could everyone turn their camera? Oh, I've just turned mine off. Could everyone turn their camera on so that I can see with a quick show of hands who has a LinkedIn profile already? And maybe actually even easier, can you put a, if you know how to do, if you don't want to put your camera on, you can react with a thumbs up maybe in the at the bottom so that I can see if you have one. Perfect. So hello, you already have one. Daria, awesome. Rafi, Milad, Kateba. Dan is a sad face. Does that mean he doesn't have one yet? Maybe. Okay, so a good amount of people do have an account, but some don't, which is absolutely fine. We will talk about the basics of how to make sure that if you do have an account, it's set up correctly. And we'll also talk about, if you haven't had an account before, the quickest way to get set up. So there'll be something in here for everyone. If I just go back to sharing my screen for just a second. There we are. So let's kick off by introducing you to LinkedIn. Sorry, my slides seem to be, I click and it takes a little while for the next slide to come up. There we are. So it's really important to start with LinkedIn's vision. Now, when I say vision, I mean a guiding purpose. What was LinkedIn built to solve and to tackle? And our vision is to create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. In easy English, that just means to make sure that everyone all around the world, no matter where you come from, is able to get paid employment, a job, which empowers so many things in life. Now, with that in mind, our mission is, how do we plan to get to that vision? The vision is up here. It's the big idea. Now, how do we get there? And how we get there is really through connecting professionals from all over the world to make them more productive and successful in what they do. Hopefully that makes sense, and I've explained that okay. It's also important to look at one of our founding principles and why LinkedIn is different from other social media. So I'm sure if I asked who has an Instagram account, every single person would have put their hand up. Maybe a Facebook account as well, maybe TikTok. LinkedIn is different because of this one thing. We put our members first. A member. What is a member? A member is just someone with a LinkedIn account. As a business, we put our members above making money. So unlike all of the other social media platforms who, and hopefully this isn't news to anyone, but sell your data. So on Instagram, if you like lots of pictures of trainers, they will sell that information to someone selling trainers and you will get advertised more trainers. LinkedIn doesn't do that at all. It's built on trust, and it's why it's become the #1 place to find a job. It is a truly trusted and a platform and a great place to set up your profile with personal information and personal achievements that you might not want to put on Facebook or Instagram. So, how can it help you? Did you know that 9 out of 10 employers use LinkedIn in the recruitment process? Which means 9 out of 10 businesses around the world are using LinkedIn at some point to hire new people into that business. So that's who has LinkedIn. But if we also look at a few more stats, there's some really impressive information on here. The one right there at the top, 8 people are hired every single minute from the LinkedIn platform. Every minute that goes by, so we've been on this call for 12 minutes, 8 people a minute have been hired. I was going to do some maths there, but 8 times 12, I can't work out as quick as I thought I would be able to. You'll see that there are more than 1 billion members on LinkedIn. So over 1 billion people have LinkedIn, and it's really important to not just have an account, but to also use the account. So we've established that on this call, about half of us have a LinkedIn profile already. Hopefully by the end of this call, those of you who don't have a LinkedIn profile are excited to set one up. But what I want to do very quickly is I want to show you my LinkedIn, and I just want to show you one area, which is the jobs tab. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a second, get up my LinkedIn, and then I will share it for you. There we are. For some of you, you will have seen this before. For other people, you won't have. This is my LinkedIn feed. So just like Instagram or Facebook, you have a feed of other people that you are connected with. And what I want to show you here is this tab in particular, which is jobs. When you click on that, it will, oh, it might have logged me out. There we are. It will show me which jobs I would be a good fit for. And what it's doing is it's taking my profile, it's reading all of my past experience, and it's bringing me jobs that I would be a good fit for. This is really helpful when it comes to job searching because you don't have to tell it what job you're looking for. So you don't have to say, I'm looking for a job to be a chef, or I'm looking to be selling cars, or I want to be a plumber. If you have all your information on LinkedIn, we will bring you jobs that might fit your skill set. Hopefully I've explained that okay. Like I said, if anyone has any questions, please do let me know. What we are going to look at next is how to build what we're looking at right now. So this is my LinkedIn. You'll see it's got a picture of me. And then if I scroll down, it's got some posts that I've made. And most importantly, it has my experience. So I will now work at LinkedIn. I used to work at this business called Hinterview. And before that, I worked in this business. And before that, I worked in this business. So it's almost like a CV, but online. And like I said, we're going to look at the most important aspects of setting up this account. So what do you need to do? Like I said, those of you with a profile, this will be a good reminder in case you've missed anything. And then we'll look at how to really take your profile to the next level. Those of you without a profile, this will give you a good step-by-step guide to getting set up. After this talk, I will send Kateba this presentation that we're looking at, and Kateba will be able to send it to everyone on this call, so you'll have a copy to refer back to. First thing you're going to want to do is upload a picture. It might sound really straightforward, really easy, but lots of people don't put a picture because maybe they don't like having their picture taken, or they don't think it's important. But it is really, really important to put a picture on here, because as you will see, profiles with a photo get 9 times as many people asking to connect with them. They get 36 times more messages from recruitment agencies or companies saying, "Hey Milad, we're hiring for X. I think you'd be a really good fit." Because that's another side of LinkedIn. You can yourself apply for jobs, and you can also get people who are looking for someone to join their business. They can reach out via LinkedIn and say, "Would you like to work for me?" So the first thing, really, really straightforward, but important to talk about, is adding a photo to your LinkedIn profile. Those of you who already have a profile, make sure you've got a professional looking photo that is, well lit, just like we're seeing here. The next thing to talk about, and this is really important because a lot of people, because we are a global platform, there are lots of different names that people may not have seen before and may not have ever said before. So what you can do is you can record how you pronounce your name. I'm sure, being in the UK at the moment, there are people who have not pronounced your name right in the past because maybe they've never seen it. This is a good way to teach people what your name should sound like and to make them comfortable in addressing you with your name. So again, really straightforward. The second thing, not super important at this stage, but it is a new feature on LinkedIn. You can select your pronouns so that someone reaching out to you knows what you would like to be addressed as, whether it's Mr., Mrs., or whatever you might choose. And you can see here that 72% of hiring managers believe it's an important thing to highlight. So if they care, we care. It will ask for a summary. Try and in 1 or 2 sentences, a bit like at the top of your resume or CV, give a summary of what you're looking for. So mine might be, "I'm Finn. I worked for 5 years as a recruitment agent, and in the last 3 years, I've been working in technology as a customer success manager. I'm looking for jobs in technology where I can build relationships with clients." Something simple like that. It's the first thing that anyone sees on my profile. Next is your work experience. Make sure that you put relevant experience of whatever job you've done in the past. so that you have a full profile. And again, you can see when you have up-to-date positions and you don't just put the last job you had or the job that you had 3 years ago, get it on there and it will, it will mean you get more connection requests. It is also important to talk about what you did in the role. So not just I worked at a bakery as a baker. You might want to say I was in charge of, baking the bread, selling the bread, getting orders in, and running the business as rather than just baking bread. Hopefully that everyone is following so far. I might pause very briefly here in case anyone wants to ask any questions. If I don't hear anything, no problem. I'm happy to move on, but I'll just leave a brief pause for anyone to ask if they need. On to the final piece. It is about skills that you can add to show specific skills that you have learned, and I'll show you this on my profile again. So you will see I've got. Let me just get my mouse. There we are. At the top, I've got my picture, I've got my job title, I come down and I've got some posts that I've made that I'll come back to in just a second. I've got my experience here and I've left it quite open-ended for my current job, but you'll see here I've added some more information here. And if I scroll down to the bottom, you will see some certificates that I have. And you will also see some skills that I have. And these skills are really important because lots of jobs, just the job title doesn't necessarily say what you do in that job. For example, manager. Your job title is manager. Does that mean that you manage people? Does it mean that you manage projects? Or does it mean that you manage stock, meaning products? So my title might be manager, but here I want to add in my skills that I am skilled in people management or people development or convincing people. Or maybe I specialize in managing young people. So I'd be able to add these skills in. Now, to start with, you just need to add maybe 5 to 10 skills. But as you learn a new skill, it's really important to put it onto your profile here. That's really the basics of setting up your LinkedIn profile as it stands. Now you have the profile. The first thing to do is to find some connections by coming to network here. Now, all of you can connect to me. After this meeting, go on LinkedIn, type my name up here, Finn Tribe, click on me and send me a connection request. So if I go to my network and I go to grow, it's going to show me some people that I might want to connect with. So these people have connected with me. If I go down, you can see here, if I wanted to go to Vezi, who I actually met earlier today, you will see that I can go to here and I can click connect. The first thing you want to do is connect with family, connect with friends, and connect with colleagues. If you know someone on LinkedIn that you used to work with, connect with them. That's the, like I said, getting started, getting set up. A reminder for those of you who already have a LinkedIn, and for those of you who don't have a LinkedIn, the best way to get started. But the next 10 minutes are going to be about how to really take advantage of LinkedIn for your benefit. The first thing to talk about is that most people who have LinkedIn, they don't post any content. They just look at the feed and they apply for jobs. If you post, you will get a lot more engagement. You will get messages. You will get connections from people who are reading your content. And I've got some examples of what you could post when you are looking for a job. And then when you find a job, don't stop posting. You can now post about your job. So, some of my posts, if we go from left to right. On the left, I shared a really positive news story that I thought my connections would like to see over here. In the middle, I posted a video that I made. Outside of work, I like to fly a drone and take pictures and take videos. And I posted that video on there to show my network that I liked using my drone. And then finally, on the right, I shared someone else's post, which was about mental health, which is something that is an issue that I feel very strongly about. This was before I had a job. So I just wanted to show that I have interests, that I keep up with the news, and that, show who I am as a person. When I got my job, my posts were more about my job. So you'll see here, a really good event that I took part in. I shared Annabelle's post here. And then on this side, you see after 4 months at LinkedIn, 1 month at LinkedIn, I shared some pictures and some videos of my time. And you'll see here at the bottom, it got loads of likes because people are interested in positive news stories. So the takeaway here is, if you don't have a job, post. Once you have a job, you also want to post. The more active you are on LinkedIn, the more you will get out of it. And there are people whose whole job is to post on LinkedIn. Everyone is probably familiar with influencers on Instagram. There are some people on LinkedIn that are influencers for their business, and they've built a whole business around connecting to people through LinkedIn. So something that's really worth thinking about. The next piece of advice is really simple. It's about turning on your open to work filter. What this does, sorry, Natalia, what kind of post should be posted? It's a good question, but there's no right answer. Post about what interests you. Post about news if you're interested in law, post about something that you read that was interesting in law, and post about your experience. The best posts are authentic. They are about you and they're unique to you. So in my example, we saw posts that wouldn't work for you, Natalia, because you don't like flying drones. Maybe you like the UFC. I don't know because I haven't met you. And maybe you feel very passionate about men's mental health. But this post is something that I feel passionate about. You can see here a super important message. Glad to see a UK future superstar using his platform for good. One of the most powerful Octagon speeches in a while. Nobody could have told me what to talk about. It would be enough to do a repost like this on the left. So you see, I just shared a news article, or I just shared something that Ross shared here. But if you're going to repost, the best advice is to write a short message about why you're reposting it. If you just repost, you won't get as much activity. If you repost and say, you know, I loved reading this blog about law, or I loved seeing that Tesco's have started employing you know, more people from a diverse background. Or you might just see a really cute picture of, you know, maybe a mum who's gone back to work and she has her baby next to her, and you share it to say, you know, I love to see this sort of post on LinkedIn. Add some of your own thoughts to it, and you'll find that it does work slightly better. Jumping back to this bit, I talked earlier about how LinkedIn works. All of you can create a profile and you can apply to jobs. But there's also over here people who are posting jobs on LinkedIn, and they can message you. One way to make yourself stand out to these people is to show that you're open to work. I will show you actually in the app what this looks like. So if I go off here, 1 second. Oh, there we are. Come back to here. If I go to my profile and I click view profile and I come down to here to open to, I can put, I'm open to finding a new job. Ignore these two for a moment. So just this one, finding a new job. It's then going to ask me what sort of job do I want and who do I want to see that I'm open to work. Everyone here, if you don't have a job, you want to tick this and this. You can't tick both, sorry. You just want to tick this bottom one. If you have a job and you want to move and you don't want that job to know that you are looking for opportunities, you can just click this one. Now, if I click this and I click save, sorry, if I just add customer success, if I click save, you will see that, no, I don't want to do this, sorry. You will see that I've now got a green banner on my picture that shows I'm open to work. That is really important to show other people that you are open to work. Now, I'm just going to remove that for now because I'm enjoying LinkedIn at this moment in time. Back to the final tip before we go to questions. How do we really stand out? Well, you really stand out by sending a message to the person who might be your boss. You've got two examples up here. The first one is to Miles. I sent him a message. Hey, Miles, I've just applied for the customer success manager role through the website, but I also wanted to drop you a note directly. It would be great to connect either way. I'm always expanding my customer success network. Now, in this case, Miles didn't reply, but that doesn't matter. I'm still happy I sent it. But you'll see here, Jane, I sent a very similar message and I asked her, I said, I can't see any jobs, but I really think your business looks cool and I would like to work there. And she replied saying, you can express interest on the website. So I can go and I can fill in a form, and she directed me there. Now, funny story, at LinkedIn, I got my job by sending a message like this. And I'll show you that message. And I'll also show you how to send these messages. So if I come here to Laura, if I scroll up, you will see it's a long message. So we're not going to look at all of it. But I said, hey, Laura, I saw that LinkedIn are looking for a customer success manager. However, I've just got home and I've seen that the job is closed, so I can't apply for it anymore. I then gave her a bit more detail about me, and she came back to me and said, I'm not hiring for this role, but here is a link that you can apply for separately. And without it, I wouldn't be in this job. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to apply for this job. So it's really, really important to try and stand out, to send messages in the platform. Now, I'll show you how I did it. I wonder if anyone on the call is brave enough to tell me a company and a job that they would like to, in an ideal world, get.
Something
No,
like account assistant, but I
Okay.
cannot say the name of company, sorry.
Okay. So account assistant job, perfect. Does anyone have a company that they think is really cool?
LinkedIn, my would be again like just you.
Okay. Okay, LinkedIn. Let's do it. So the first thing I would do is I would find LinkedIn. And what I would do is I would go onto LinkedIn's page. And the first thing I would do is I would look at their jobs here. I would see what jobs are available at LinkedIn. So I can see 3, or I can click and show all jobs there. If I saw a job, or if I didn't see a job and I wanted to send a message, I would next come here to people. Now, this is going to show me who works at LinkedIn, and it's going to give me a lead into who I could message. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to look for the UK. So you can see most of our team are in America and in Ireland. If I scroll down, we are on there somewhere. Okay, we might be further down. So let's go with Dublin. Let's say I was in Dublin. I'm going to click on Dublin, and it's now going to show me 2,000 members. And then I'm going to search here by a possible title. So let's say it was my job, customer success. And I'm going to search. If I now scroll down, it's showing me 300 people. I appreciate that is quite a lot of people. But if I scroll down, I can see them. And what I want to look for is a leader. So here, customer success leader. Perfect. I'm going to go onto Bahar's profile, and I can either connect, like I showed you before, or I can add a message here. So I can send with a note or without a note. And if I go add a note, I can come here and I can write Bahar a message. Please don't underestimate how useful this can be. Maybe you see a friend that you haven't spoken to in a long time, or an old colleague who has a cool job. You could use this to say, hey, I'm really interested in getting a job like yours. Do you have any advice of how I could do that? If you use this message function, make sure you are clear what you would like from that person. And please don't just send a message saying, you know, please, can I have a job? Because they're not going to reply. You have to be focused on how they can help beyond just, please, can I have a job? You could send a message saying, hey, I'm Rafi, and I'm going to make this up, Rafi. I hope you don't mind. I have 2 years experience in marketing before I moved to the UK. I'm looking for a marketing job and I really like LinkedIn. Do you have any advice or could you give me anyone's details of who I could speak to next? Now, remember, they might not reply, and that's fine. It's ultimately about trying to stand out. I applied for about 100 jobs before I got this job, and I probably sent 40 messages to different people, and maybe only 5 replied, but it still was really helpful for me to feel like I was trying to make myself a bit different from everyone else. And even for the people who said, no, we don't have a job, some of them maybe give you advice. They might say, I looked at your LinkedIn profile and it's not clear that you want to work in marketing. And then you can take that and you can apply that to your profile. We're through the deck pretty much. The last slide is very much just in there. It says questions, but I'm more than happy to take questions now. I'll just share my screen again so that we all know at what point we're at for anyone who maybe dived off for a second. I guess before we get on questions, a quick summary. Oh, sorry. A quick summary of the takeaway points. LinkedIn is a very powerful tool for finding jobs. Nearly every business in the world uses LinkedIn to find people. So you want to make sure, one, you have a profile, and two, you're using that profile to apply to jobs, to message people, and to share relevant content. I hope that was helpful.